Hello friends, today we're talking about color in interior design. How do you choose color combinations? How do you apply them correctly? Believe me, it's much easier than you might think. At the end of this video, as a treat, I'll tell you how to select not just a beautiful and professional color scheme, but one that is perfectly suited for you. Before we start choosing colors, let's remember a simple formula: 60, 30, and 10. This means that 60% of the space is dedicated to the main color, 30% to secondary color, and 10% to an accent color. Of course, there can be more than 3 colors and shades in interior, but the main principle is to avoid using 2 colors in equal proportions. Instead, distribute them from most to least dominant. And how do you choose colors? I prepared 3 methods for you using photos and concepts from my own projects. We'll start with the simplest method, one that even a child can manage, and move to the more advanced techniques for those who want to dive deeper into the topic. And let's start. Method number 1, the prototype method. For this method, you can use any material or object that already has a mix of colors in its pattern. This could be curtain fabric, decorative pillows, prose, a painting, a vase, or even chosen wall design material like marble. Essentially, any object where a professional designer or artist has already created a harmonious color combination. Your task is to repeat and distribute these colors using the 60, 30, and 10 formula. Let's look at how this works in practice. And we're going to start with example number 1, dining area. And this example from one of my projects, the inspiration came from the mural coral background with beautiful pots and flowers. Breaking it down. Main color 60% white, covering the ceiling and marble surfaces. Secondary color 30%, coral seen in the mural and wall. Accent color 10%, graphite appearing in small details. And our example number 2, my another project. Let's analyze this one. Main color 60%, a gray beige for walls and ceiling. Secondary color 30%, camel beige for the floor and highlights in the painting. Accent color 10%, graphite seen in a stained glass, spot slides and painting details, and milky white for the color of the chairs. And here example number 3, living space. Here, main color 60%, off-white used for the walls and carpet design. Secondary color 30%, black visible in the necks and legs of storks in the bas relief. Accent color 10%, bright red, the color of the armchair. And example number 4, bathroom design. Remember when I mentioned the prototype method? Here the prototype was marble and decorative materials that inspired the color scheme for the master bathroom. And here is a breakdown. Main color is 60%, the color of the marble. Secondary color 30%, a slightly darker dusty blue used for cabinet. Accent color 10%, gold found in handles and fixtures. There is also a second accent color here, black. By following these examples, you can create an interior that's not only stylish but also perfectly balanced. And now we covered the first method, let's move on. What if your interior doesn't have any item prototypes or decorative materials to draw inspiration from? In that case, the second method is for you, using a pre-made color scheme. This you can find in websites like Adobe Color. Let's find an interior image that you like from Pinterest, for example, this one. But here we don't understand exactly which colors the designer used. However, we like everything and want to use the same colors in our interior. Let's get started. Go to the website and explore all the main sections. First, go to Create. And at the very beginning, you will see the color wheel, but we will come back to this later. Next, go to the image. Here, we'll upload the picture that we chose from Pinterest. Okay, just take this picture. And we want to know what colors they used. And after uploading the image, the website generates a color palette. So you can see it here. Save it. Now let's upload another picture. Again, go to the gallery. So let's take this picture. I want to know what colors they use. And you see, again, the website provides us with all the colors found in this picture. Now we know what they used. Save it. Now let's explore and see how else we can use this website. The next section is Explore. In the Explore section, you can find ready-made palettes that match different interior styles. For example, you can find summer, vintage, spring, happy, tropical, and that's not all. Here you find the website's collection of ready organized color schemes by warm tones, cool shades, pastel shades, and contrasting tones. Let's type warm tones. And see what comes up. Here we go. All warm shades. Let's type pastel shades. And here we go. Here is the result. And what about contrasting tones? Just check it right here. And here they are. All you need to do is to choose the most suitable option from the many choices. If you want to use a specific color, for example, like blue, you can find it here also. Just check it out. We need to type blue. So, all color schemes that include our blue color appeared. And after that, apply the familiar principle, repeat the color, and distribute them using 60, 30, and 10 formula. The next section is trends, where you can find all the latest color trends. I like them all. The following section, lab, but this is for professionals, so you probably won't need it. And then libraries, here you can find all saved palettes. And that's it. Let's practice using ready-made color schemes in a simple example. I chose this palette. I found it on Pinterest and my customer liked it too. So you can choose not only color palettes but also material palettes. Here's what they look like. I will distribute the colors as follows. Our main and primary color will be off-white. The second accent color will be brown, meaning the color of wood, when the first accent color is blue and the second accent color is black. This all with a touch of gray to balance between the lightest of white shade and black. So, as you all know, we designers work in software, and when we create 3D models, we start with plain white renders. Yes, this is how we call them. And what do we do with them? Of course, we color them. First, let's apply our off-white, which makes that 60%. This to remember our formula. Since it's not visible on a white render, we continue. Next, we take our light brown, which makes that 30%. This is the color of wood, by the way. So we color the wall, table, and floors. Then we add the accent colors, blues for chairs and armchairs, and add in some gray color. And finally, black, used for chair legs, large glazed doors in the background, chandelier spheres, sockets, linear LED profile lights, and the small table near the sofa. And that's it. Your interior is ready based on the colors we like. This is how designers bring interiors to life with color. Okay, now 2 simple methods covered. And watch this video till the end because you will learn about the most interesting method of choosing colors. This method you can always apply in your interiors by yourself. We've now gone through the 2 simplest methods for choosing colors in interior design. Now for those who want to learn how to combine colors on their own, here is some more advanced information. Let's just understand the types of colors. Colors can be simple and complex. Simple colors are straightforward and clear without any mixing, just basic colors. Our brains are wired to notice simple and bright colors first because they are easier to perceive. One of my customers once looked at a palette of bright colors and called them childish. And he was right. Children prefer bright colors because their nervous system are still developing, making simple colors easier for them to understand. Complex colors are created by mixing simple colors, leading to rich and beautiful shades. These colors have subtle tones, making them appear less bright due to the mix of hues and half tones. Interiors using complex tones look richer and more sophisticated than those using simple tones. Colors also have two additional characteristics, brightness and saturation. If you ever used a basic photo editor, you're likely familiar with these terms. Brightness involves adding white to make the color lighter, turning it to a pastel shades, or adding black to make it darker. Saturation changes when gray is added. The more gray, the less saturated the color becomes. These shades are often called muted because they look like a bright saturated color covered in a layer of dust. These muted shades generally pair well with other muted tones, while they don't look as appealing with bright saturated colors. And let's look at some interior examples. On the left, we see bright saturated colors. On the right, the same option with more muted tones. I think that every combination looks harmonious, but by toning down the saturation, it creates a different, equally interesting effect. Now we've covered saturation, let's move on to the color wheel. Don't worry, you don't need to memorize everything I'm about to explain. A color wheel is a chart where colors are organized in a particular order. It helps quickly identify colors that complement each other. And let's talk about how does a color wheel work. The Eaton color wheel consists of 12 basic colors. Contrasting shades are located directly opposite each other. Using the color wheel isn't as complicated as it looks. To avoid making mistakes with color selection, you just need to use reliable combinations. And number 1, complementary combination. Use this for contrasting colors, like when you want to highlight something and draw attention to an element. Contrasting colors are opposite each other on the wheel. Typically, complementary colors are used in different proportions, one more dominant than the other. If you use them in equal amount, they will cancel each other. Number 2, triad combination. This is for softer contrast. To find these colors, draw an equilateral triangle inside the circle. The 3 points of the triangle indicate the harmonious colors. 1, 2, 3. And number 3, tetrad combination. A combination of 4 colors. To find the right shades, draw a square or rectangle inside the circle. The corners of the shape will point to the complementary colors. The color wheel can be challenging, but my advice is to stick to their first 2 combinations. They are foolproof. Now let's move on to the promised dessert, how to choose not just a beautiful professional, but the perfect color scheme for you. The secret is very simple. A good interior is one with your favorite colors or colors from nature. Another way to find your favorite color combination is to look closely at nature. Nature has all the colors and shades from every bright to soft pastel tones. And I'm sure that everyone from you has your own favorite pictures of nature. And let's take my new project as an example. I asked the customer to show me their favorite natural colors combinations. And here's what they showed me, and I used these colors to paint their new room. And what do you think? Do you like it? That's all for now. I hope everything was clear and easy to understand. I have a new channel and it will grow with more helpful videos. So please subscribe and leave comments. See you in the next video.